All right, let's get right into it because something pretty wild is happening that could totally change how the biggest companies on the planet choose their AI. We're talking about the largest IPO in history, all the heavy hitters on Wall Street, and a power move so bold people are calling it a toll booth. And this quote? Man, it just nails the whole situation. This isn't about picking the best tool for the job. Not at all. It's about paying a price just to get in the door. So, what is this toll booth? And who's getting stuck with the bill? So first up, let's talk about the main event here. We're looking at a situation where you have to buy a specific AI product, all because it's tied to a financial deal that is, frankly, one of the biggest we've ever seen. So you need to understand the backdrop for this is just massive. We're talking about SpaceX, right? Elon Musk's baby. It's finally going public. And this is not your everyday IPO. No, this is the big one. It's going to smash records. And for the banks involved, getting a slice of that pie is everything. I mean, just look at that number, $2 trillion. That's the target valuation. To give you an idea of how insane that is, it's bigger than the entire economy of most countries on Earth. So for the banks handling this, the fees, they're going to be out of this world. And that's the leverage. So who's on the hook for this? Well, it's pretty much a who's who of Wall Street. You've got Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, you name it. Basically, if you're a big shot bank or firm and you wanted in on this massive deal, you're all facing the exact same demand. Okay, so what's the ticket price to get into the biggest show in town? You might think it's just about the usual fees, right? Nope. Turns out there's a new kind of cost involved. And here we have it. They're calling it the Grok toll booth. Here's the deal. If you want a piece of the SpaceX IPO, you have to buy subscriptions to Grok. That's Musk's AI chatbot from his other company, xAI. And we're not talking pocket change here. This is tens of millions of dollars every single year for each company, all for an AI they probably wouldn't have picked on their own. I mean, the ultimatum is just brutally simple. Buy our AI or you're out. You can forget about the most profitable deal to hit Wall Street in years. Wow, it's an absolutely stunning power play. And this right here, this quote, gets to the absolute core of it. Doesn't matter if Grok is the best AI on the market. Does it matter how it stacks up against what Google or OpenAI are doing? Nope, not at all. None of that is part of the conversation. The only thing that matters is getting access to the deal. So, the big question is, how did we even get to this point, right? How does one person get enough power to basically hold all of Wall Street hostage? Well, this didn't happen by accident. It was the result of some seriously strategic moves. Just take a look at this timeline. It shows how fast this all came together. Back in January of this year, the Department of Defense starts using Grok. Boom, instant credibility. Then, just 1 month later, SpaceX and xAI officially merge into one giant company. And fast forward to today, that brand new powerhouse is the one laying down the law to Wall Street. So what's the big picture strategy here? It's a classic business move called vertical integration. Think about it. One entity now controls everything. You've got the rockets with SpaceX, you've got the global internet with Starlink, and now you have the AI with Grok. Every single piece makes the other pieces even more powerful. And what this all means is that we're seeing a really fundamental shift. This isn't a hypothetical. It's a real-world example of how the rules for adopting AI are being rewritten, right at the very top.
So here's the really crucial point. For the longest time when we talked about AI, it was all about performance, right? We'd ask, which AI is the smartest? Which one's the fastest? But what this whole situation shows us is that maybe that's not the most important question anymore. The new question might just be, who controls the pipes? Who owns the infrastructure, the data, the internet, the access that you absolutely need to do business?
Look, if there's one thing you walk away with today, it should be this. This whole Grok toll booth situation, it's a story about power, not performance. It's about how pure, raw leverage can dictate which technology gets adopted, no matter how good that tech actually is. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most interesting question of all. How are we supposed to think about a move like this? It's a really fascinating dilemma. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. What is this? Is it just a brilliant, cutthroat business move, using every advantage you have to build an empire? Or is it a massive conflict of interest, where you're forcing one company's success by leveraging another? Or maybe it's somehow both at the exact same time? That's the big question here.